If this message found you in a moment where you feel tired, where life feels heavier than usual, where the future feels uncertain, then don't scroll. Pause for a second and really listen, because what you've been carrying was never meant to destroy you. It was designed to strip away everything in you that doesn't belong to the person you're becoming. And I know you're tired. Not just I need sleep, tired, but a deeper kind of exhaustion. The kind that settles into your bones. The kind that doesn't go away, even after a full night's rest. You wake up, already drained, already feeling like you fought a battle before the day even begins. Because the weight you've been carrying isn't physical, it's emotional, it's spiritual, it's internal. And maybe, just maybe, you've been asking God questions like, why is this taking so long? Why does it feel so quiet? Why does it seem like everyone else is moving forward, while I'm still here, waiting, holding on to something that feels like it's slipping through your fingers? But what if everything you thought was working against you has actually been working in your favor this whole time? Let that sink in. The exhaustion you feel, that's not failure. That's the old version of you, finally breaking down. You were never meant to carry your past self into your next level. The weight you feel right now is the weight of transformation. You're shedding layers, outgrowing patterns, releasing identities that no longer fit. And that process, it's uncomfortable. That's why this season feels heavier than anything you've experienced before. Because you're not just fighting obstacles anymore. You're fighting the temptation to settle for less than what you were promised. And that is a different kind of battle. That's the kind of battle that happens right before everything shifts. That's the exhaustion of being close to something your spirit can feel, but your mind can't yet see. Listen carefully. God hasn't been silent. He's been strategic. He's been removing distractions, separating you from voices that told you to shrink, pulling you away from spaces that felt comfortable, but kept you small, even distancing you from versions of yourself that were willing to accept less, just because it felt safe. This isn't punishment, it's preparation. And I know you've heard that before. I know you're tired of hearing spiritual explanations for real pain. But stay with me, because what's about to unfold in your life won't look like anything you've seen before. This next shift, it's not coming with noise. It's not coming with a warning. It's not coming with a countdown. It's coming suddenly, in the middle of your healing, in the middle of your confusion, in the middle of you still trying to figure things out. Because God doesn't wait for you to feel ready. He waits for alignment. And whether you realized it or not, you've been aligning. Every time you chose truth over comfort, every time you said no, when it would have been easier to say yes, every time you stayed real instead of performing for others, every time you held on to faith when nothing around you made sense, you were building something internal, a foundation. And what's coming next in your life is going to require that foundation. It's going to require the strength you built in private, the faith you developed in silence, the discipline you practiced when no one noticed, the trust you held onto when everything felt uncertain. You weren't forgotten. You were being strengthened. Because the blessing ahead of you is not something the old version of you could sustain. It requires this version of you, the one shaped in pressure, the one refined in waiting, the one who understands that timing isn't denial, it's positioning. Now think about this for a moment. Where were you a year ago? What were you afraid of? What kept you up at night? What felt impossible back then? Now look at you. You're still here, still standing, still believing, still choosing to move forward, even when it's hard. That's not coincidence. That's growth. Something inside you has changed. You didn't just survive what you went through. You evolved through it. You became someone who no longer needs constant validation. Someone who doesn't quit just because results are slow. Someone who can stand alone and still feel grounded. Because you realized something powerful. Being alone with God isn't isolation. It's preparation. Preparation for a level of influence, impact, and purpose you couldn't have handled before. And now you're ready. Not because everything is perfect, not because life suddenly became easy, not because all your questions have been answered, or all your doubts have disappeared, and not because the pain is completely gone. Let's be honest. Some of that pain is still there. Some memories still sting. Some nights still feel heavier than they should. Some thoughts still try to pull you back into old fears. But even with all of that, you're ready. Not in the way the world defines ready. Not polished, not flawless, not fully healed, but aligned. That's the difference. You're ready because, this time, you chose truth. Even when your emotions were loud. Even when your feelings tried to convince you otherwise. Even when it would have been easier to believe the lie. You're ready because you stayed. When walking away would have been the comfortable option. When quitting would have felt justified. When giving up would have made sense to everyone watching. But you didn't. You stayed. You held your ground. You held your faith. You held on. Even when it felt like nothing was holding you. And that changed you. You're ready because, piece by piece, decision by decision, you built your life on something real. Not on approval, not on temporary validation, not on what people think about you, but on something solid, something unshakable. And that foundation you've been building quietly, that nobody really noticed, that nobody applauded. That foundation, it's about to carry more than you ever imagined. More responsibility, more growth, more opportunity, more impact. And you won't crumble under it, because you were built for it. Right now, whether you fully realize it or not, you're standing at the edge of a shift. Not a small change, not a temporary moment, a shift. The kind that rearranges your life, the kind that redefines how you see yourself and what you believe is possible. Can you feel it? That tension in your chest, that quiet intensity you can't quite explain, that feeling that something is different, even if nothing around you has changed yet. That's not anxiety. That's not fear. That's recognition. Your spirit recognizes what's happening, even if your mind is still trying to catch up. It's like a knowing, deep inside you, that something is about to move. And when it does, everything you've been through, everything that didn't make sense, everything that felt delayed, denied, or taken away, it's going to come together. Every delay that frustrated you, every tear that no one saw, every sleepless night where your mind wouldn't rest, every moment you had to choose faith when there was no visible proof that things would get better. All of it mattered. None of it was wasted. It was all leading here, not to something small, not to just getting by, not to a life that feels average or limited, but to transformation, a complete shift in how you live, how you think, how you move, how you see yourself. A life so different that one day you'll look back at this exact season, this confusing, exhausting, stretching season, and finally understand. Not just accept it, but understand it. You'll see why the doors had to close, why the timing didn't match your expectations, why certain people had to leave, why certain things had to fall apart. Because it wasn't random, it was intentional. Because God wasn't just preparing something for you, He was preparing you for it. Read that again. He wasn't just working on the blessing, He was working on you, your mindset, your strength, your patience, your character, your capacity. Because what's coming next in your life requires a version of you that didn't exist before this season. And now, that version exists. The version of you listening right now, tired, but still trusting, weary, but still holding on, exhausted, but still believing. That version of you is stronger than you realize, more capable than you've given yourself credit for, more prepared than you feel, and most importantly, ready to handle what's coming, ready to sustain it, ready to grow with it, instead of being overwhelmed by it. So stay ready, but not the way the world tells you to, not by forcing outcomes, not by rushing timelines, not by trying to control every detail, and definitely not by exhausting yourself trying to make things happen. Stay ready in a different way. Stay ready by staying aligned. Stay grounded in truth, even when lies feel louder. Stay connected in faith, even when you can't see results yet. Stay consistent, even when motivation fades. Stay present, even when your mind tries to rush ahead. Because what's meant for you doesn't need to be chased. It doesn't need you running in circles, exhausting yourself trying to prove your worth. It doesn't need to be forced into place or rushed before it's time. And it definitely doesn't need to be manipulated just to exist. What is truly yours moves with alignment, not pressure. It will find you at the right time, not a moment too early, not a moment too late, in the right way, even if it looks completely different from what you expected, in the right place, even if life has taken you down paths you didn't plan. And most importantly, it will meet you in the right version of you, not the version that was still doubting, not the version that was still settling, not the version that was still shrinking to fit places you had outgrown, but this version, the one who stayed, the one who grew, the one who didn't give up, even when it would have been easier to walk away, right where you are. So don't miss this moment. Don't just hear these words and scroll past them like everything else. Don't treat this like just another message. Pause. Seriously. Pause. Take a breath. Slow everything down for just a second. And do something intentional. Not tomorrow, not later. Right now. I want you to write this down. Somewhere you can actually see it. On your phone. On a piece of paper. Anywhere. I'm ready for everything God has prepared for me. And don't just type it out of habit. Don't just say it because it sounds good. Feel it. Let those words rise from that deeper place inside you. The part of you that refused to quit. That kept showing up when no one noticed. That kept believing when logic said to stop. The part of you that held on, even when it didn't make sense to. Declare it. Say it like you mean it. Say it like you're stepping into something new. Because your words carry weight. They shape how you see yourself. They shape how you move. They shape what you allow into your life. And this moment, it matters more than you realize. Because this isn't just about motivation. This is about alignment. This is about stepping into agreement with what's already being prepared for you. And your declaration, it won't just impact you. It might reach someone else. Someone who's just as tired, just as uncertain, just as close to letting go. Someone who needed to see that another person is still standing, still believing, still choosing faith. And your voice might be the reminder they needed today, that they're not alone, that this season isn't the end, that there's still purpose in what they're going through, that something is shifting for them too, even if they can't see it yet. So, write it. Don't overthink it. Don't hesitate. Write it. Declare it. Own it. Hold on to it, especially on the days when doubt tries to creep back in. And then, watch what begins to change, not just around you, not just in your circumstances, but within you, because that's where everything truly begins.